Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Group Chat.
Fresh off the #1 award show in the world.
Yeah, I mean, my phone's been blowing up.
Yeah.
A lot of people just thankful. A lot of I want to thank my God. I want to thank my parents. A lot of that.
Yeah, Elon Musk texted us.
Elon was blown away. And then a lot of people are upset.
Yeah.
So that's the way it goes. And, we'll be back next year and do better.
I got call from China, and they were mad that they were not entrepreneur of the year, company of the year.
Yeah, you did fire a couple shots.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they, I gave them credit for product of the year with the COVID-19.
That's true. I don't think they want credit for that, though. Okay, we got a lot to talk about. First, we're starting off with an interview with Luke Anderson from Cann. Cann is a THC-infused beverage.
Yummy.
Great guy, great company. Going to do a quick little interview with him and see what it's all about.
Yeah.
And you guys are currently 4 cans deep?
4, 5.
Whatever. So this is a real mellow episode. Thanks, Luke.
A lot of laughs.
Lot of laughs. And then we're going to get into everything you need to know. I mean, I think the biggest thing that you need to know and the most important thing going on in the world at the moment is Jake Paul.
Yeah.
And I have some thoughts, and especially Dee has some opposite thoughts. But look, if nothing else, there's a new challenge that came out of it. And I'm not sure how it's going to go over, but it's going to be great for views.
Yeah. FBB.
Jake Paul has reached an all-time high at controversy, and he's going ham on the internet, and we're going to talk about it. We also have some other content things to talk about, including porn.
Ooh.
So a lot
Spicy.
of edgy content today. We have an update on a huge COVID prevention product that has just got the green light from the U.S. So it looks like, our COVID quarantine days are numbered. Back to normal in no time.
Wow.
And then we're going to end with what Google's doing with their offices. And we might have the first winner for the self-driving car race. We have photos.
Great looking car.
Looks pretty good. And then we're going to end on, as seen on social, that and many more things. You guys ready?
Yep.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right, everyone. We are back with another very special guest of a product that I've become a huge fan of in the last couple of months, mainly because I'm, borderline alcoholic. And so I try to reduce my drinking during the pandemic. And I actually went on a 2.5 week break on alcohol, and I started drinking Cann. And I think you guys have heard me mention it, but today we have the founder on, Luke Anderson. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
So we just met Luke we're on a Zoom call doing this interview, and I asked him how he's doing, and he said pretty good, and then he said I think you said you're unwell to a certain extent. So
we just wanted to make sure it wasn't the Rona.
Yeah, so it clearly isn't Rona. You look like a healthy guy. But it's interesting because I share your sentiment. Around this time of the year, I completely melt the fuck down. I'm so gone with Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Green Tuesday, whatever made up holiday we're doing these days. Please tell us more about that before we learn more about the business.
Yeah. Well, when they tell you entrepreneurship is going to be really sexy, they're lying.
Yeah.
And if you choose to raise money from VCs, you live in this sort of like every month you are chasing numbers and you are trying to legitimize your existence. And when you hit the numbers, everything's great. When you don't hit the numbers, you're like, wait a minute, my friends chose to work at this company and we have to reduce headcount, or, do we shut down the business if it's not seeing as high of a repurchase rate as we did previously, and every existential crisis, I think it just, wears on you.
Yeah.
And you finish out November and you're like, all right, well, we finished the end of the month. Normally you take a little breather at the beginning of the month and then you start hitting it hard again. It's December and that's the end of the year. And so every day is like the end of the month and you're already burnt out from the last month. And man, it's hard out here. I won't pretend. But things are going really well. And so it's great that people like our product and that people like you are having this sort of quarantine experience of like, I'm tired of drinking alcohol as much as I used to. And I just, want to drink something that takes the edge off and makes me feel like I'm still having fun because it's carrying us through. Since most people who are really interested in our product are too afraid to go find it in a dispensary because they were nervous about cannabis or had previously maybe only been an alcohol consumer and hadn't dabbled yet. So it's going well, but I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't wake up every morning being like, could I just sleep the whole day?
And how would you explain your product so that I mean, I know is it cannabis infused soda, sparkling water?
We've toyed around with, what to call it. Is it a weed soda? Is it a cannabis infused social tonic? The thing that most people latch onto quickly is it's a microdosed weed seltzer with, really good tasting flavors and lower sugar and lower calorie than the alcohol alternative. So microdose THC drink is probably the most accurate way to describe it.
And what's your background? Were you in cannabis before this? Or is this your kind of first kind of world? Like, were you a drug dealer before this?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I actually did one time. Somebody gave me a gift of weed when I was in college, and I sold it for $20.
Okay.
I had no idea what to do, and I was so scared to have my possession. I asked one of my stoner friends later. I was like, "Yeah, I had a pound of weed and I sold it for $20." And he was like, "Are you fucking insane?" So no, I was not a cannabis person. I ate one bad pot brownie in college and it was enough to make me say, I'm never getting that high again.
Mm-hmm.
Like crawling underneath furniture at a party, like needing to get taken home type of high. And so for me, it was a very unnatural career move. I was a consumer packaged goods consultant. I was working with a bunch of big multinational companies, trying to help them launch new products and brands on short timelines by behaving like a startup. And after doing 3 or 4 of these projects, I was like, wait a minute, maybe I could be a startup. I just didn't have an idea of what I wanted to sell. Luckily, my good friend, Jake, who has been dreaming about a microdose THC beverage concept for a while, he grew up in Colorado. He watched the legalization of cannabis happen as he was growing up. He had been saying, like, the next big thing in cannabis is going to be beverages. We choose to socialize with microdoses of ingredients in beverages, coffee, alcohol. It's the same sort of behavior, and cannabis will eventually get folded into that same socialization routine. And when he first told me about it 7 years ago, I was like, this is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Alcohol is enough. I've got my hands full with alcohol. Dee, I hear you're a tequila drinker, and I certainly had my fair share of tequila problems. I was like, my hands are full. I don't need another social intoxicant to complicate things. But then when I turned 30, I had my first 2-day hangover, and I said, wait a minute, like, there's got to be a better way. I can't have 5 margaritas every night. I need to think about ways. It hurts.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, I have a startup consumer packaged goods type background, and my friend had a brilliant idea for a microdose weed beverage, and we just put our heads together and designed the first product that would get somebody like me to make their first ever cannabis purchase, and go to a dispensary for the first time. Because for a lot of us, who had a bad weed experience, it's scary. It's scary to go in and talk to somebody about something that makes you remember PTSD.
Right. So that's actually leads me to a question, because beverage seems like an obvious category for cannabis, but it seems like, I mean, you're the first drink I've heard. I don't think it's even like that big of a category yet, but it seems so obvious because just me personally, I have no aversion to cannabis. I just hate smoke, and the concept of edibles just doesn't sound interesting to me. A beverage would sound interesting, and I think there's such a bigger population that would dabble in beverage than smoke and edibles.
100% right. Are you asking why?
I'm saying why hasn't it hit yet? Yeah. What's taking so long?
It's crazy to me. I feel the same way every day, and I'm still kind of waiting. I'm like, where are the beverages? Like, if you go to a dispensary, you'll see a fridge full of cans sometimes and nothing else. And if you went to go buy oat milk and it was just one brand, you'd probably not think the category was legitimate. Consumers need variety and choice in order to build a routine around something. The reasons that cannabis beverage have not taken off yet, there are 5 of them. One is dosage. The first beverages were 10 to 100 milligrams of THC. And for somebody who is not trying to get super obliterated, that is too much.
Got it.
I 10 milligram dose for me, and I'm on the couch for 8 hours. So beverages, which are the perfect thing for that new consumer, have been too strong. Second thing is branding. Cann is the first beverage that looks like it belongs in Whole Foods, in my opinion. There have been a number of other brands that, looked like energy drinks from a gas station in 1995. And consumers today, they just aren't attracted to that type of packaging. In order to welcome somebody into a new category of products, you need to make it look approachable and premium and detailed. Third reason, flavor. A lot of them tasted like weed. People don't like to drink something that tastes like weed. Our products are formulated to taste like the opposite. There's no lingering cannabis flavor in a can, and it's because we use super premium natural ingredients and then partner with an emulsion technology company that makes it odorless and flavorless from the cannabis side. Last 2 things, price. They're too expensive. Even though cans are, on average, you can buy them for $3 a can if you get a 6-pack. A 6-pack of premium alcohol, the most premium alcohol is probably, $15. And so we get consumed less frequently because people are checking their bank accounts when they're choosing to buy it. And then the last reason is the channel. The people that love this product are going to Whole Foods. They're going to liquor stores to get their social beverage routines going. And they're not going to dispensaries yet. And a lot of it is because dispensaries aren't super beautiful and approachable. I can think of 1 or 2 in Los Angeles. Sweet Flower, one of our best partners, they have a beautiful aesthetic, and it looks from the outside like it's not a weed shop.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
They're crushing it, but 90% of the dispensaries, you walk in and it smells like weed. It looks like weed. The bloodshot eyes of the person you're talking to make you feel crazy.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The experience of purchasing cannabis is still pretty weak. And even for someone like me that, I'll try all types of cannabis. The experience of walking into a dispensary is just, it's still intimidating to me.
It feels illegal.
Like, why do you have the scary guy in the front that's like with the gun? Like, dude, like, I get it. You have to have security. Like, hire like Mossad.
Well, that's because they only take cash. So that's the reason for the guy with the gun.
So, I mean, yeah, no, I understand all that. I just think that those will obviously change with time. But like, even for me, like I don't go to dispensaries. Like it's just very difficult experience, but I do enjoy a lot of the products that are coming out of dispensaries. And I think you mentioned about packaging. The other thing I think that you guys nailed, I think on, I forgot which flavor, like the sugar level is really, really low. And for me personally, like I don't want sugar, like unless it's in a margarita. That's like my one sugar agave kind of intake. I generally don't enjoy sugar in my products. And I think the low sugar content, the beautiful packaging makes it very approachable for a lot of people, where I think, especially for someone, I'll take my brother, for example, who's not a cannabis person. And I feel like you're still hesitant to try because you're not too sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hesitant in the sense that I don't want to overdo it and be in comatose.
Yeah.
I know how to handle alcohol to the point where, okay, stop now.
So you think?
Yeah.
Okay. I could speak otherwise. I could speak otherwise to
But
that.
I'm not afraid of what I'm gonna do if I drink too much.
Yeah. And but that's an interesting dilemma that I think I'd love to hear how you would approach that, because I think, like, my friend who introduced me to Cann, he was like, do this 2-3 days a week and chill on drinking. I was like, okay. And I did it. And he made it feel very comfortable for me to try it. And which now a lot of since I posted on my social media, a lot of people have hit me up and say, oh, I tried it. It's incredible. But like, how do you accelerate that? Because obviously you're not in the business of moving slow. So I'd love to hear kind of your perspective on that.
Yeah, it's all about consumer education. I mean, I am the same. I know what 1 drink does to me, what 2 drinks does to me, what 6 drinks does to me, what 12 drinks does to me. Like that's something that I've learned through a bunch of misadventures over the last decade. But cannabis has always been black and white. It's always been you're stoned or you're not. What our product does is, by being a 2 milligram dosage, a joint is 50 to 100 milligrams, depending on how tightly you pack it. And so what we're creating is the opportunity for people to learn how to control their cannabis high, the level of intoxicated they get. And by making it 2 milligrams, we promise nobody has a negative experience from getting too high. And because it hits you within 10 minutes, unlike the pot brownie that you wait an hour and a half and woo, like you're blasting off into outer space, you can choose whether or not you want to have another one. So if you're afraid of what you'll get to by an uncontrollable cannabis experience, have a can, wait 10 minutes, see how you feel, have another one.
What's the most you can have in a night?
For me, it's just like a light beer. Like for me, a 5 to 6 light beer night, I'm never going to get in trouble. And for me, drinking 5 to 6 cans, I will have a really good time.
Okay, because my wife made a comment. My wife made a comment to me. Sorry to interrupt. She's like, another one? And because I had 2 the other night, and she was like, another one? I was like, yo, chill.
They're small.
It's 2 milligrams.
Yeah.
Let me have a few.
Put the 12-pack down.
Two glasses of wine. Nobody's going to say another one. Like, if you're having 7 or 8, sure. And that's what I'm trying to do, is create an experience that's just like a glass of wine, a light beer. But because everyone is so used to cannabis being like a major experience that you invest in and you like block out 8 hours for, people just don't get it yet. So we try to make funny Instagram content, educating people on it with infographics. Like, you wouldn't drink an entire bottle of Everclear for your first drink at a party, right? Like, that's a crazy idea. That's, to an extent, kind of like eating an entire pot brownie. And it's really ruined cannabis for a lot of people before they can get started.
Yeah, and I think the other interesting opportunity, as I'm a father, married, 2 kids, I have no problem smoking a joint. I enjoy it, but it's really, really difficult now that I have kids to do that, because like I would never want them to see me do it, and then the smoke and kind of the impact of that in my backyard, and then my neighbors who have kids. Like, I don't want to be that guy. So that's actually the biggest problem that was solved for me, was I can actually consume cannabis while I'm playing with my kid, which if I had a drink in my hand, no one would say a word. Oh, you have a cocktail?
Another one?
Another one? Yeah, exactly. But, now I get to like sit on the ground with my kid and build a train set.
And be high as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Which I was like,
when tiny bit high.
Yeah, sorry. Don't want to.
And interesting enough, I get the same feeling, which is I just don't want to think about work. And alcohol does that for me, and cannabis does it for me. And I'd rather do it in a clean way, because we all know that like there is a long lasting impact of excessively drinking alcohol.
Can you walk us through? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, just on that, it's to take the edge off. Like, that's all it does, is a microdose of cannabis just takes the edge off, and it allows you to experience a momentary reprieve from whatever you're stressed out about.
Yeah.
So can you walk us through where you are just in the cycle of your company? Like, when did you start? How many distribution points do you have? Just so people can understand, because we've been told this product by several people, so I imagine you're pretty big. Just kind of give us the audience a sense of where you guys are at.
Yeah, we still feel like we're a tiny company. Jake and I started the company in earnest in January of last year, 2019. We both moved to LA, got a tiny little shack in Venice, and we were making like Breaking Bad style, almost like making small batch versions R&D in kegs. And we actually called our old house the meth lab, which is a joke. There was no meth there. But it was just the two of us for 6 months, just like grinding away and desperately trying to figure out how to make the product. Like it's a challenge to make a microdose THC drink at scale. Some companies like Constellation Brands did this $4 billion deal with Canopy Growth a few years ago, and they've made it, a similar number of drinks that we have with a lot more resources and a lot more time. So we were like mad scientists for 6 months, just the two of us trying to get the product to market. Launched with MedMen in June of last year. Back half of last year, it was just like all about how to make enough to keep up with demand. We finally found a great manufacturing partner at the end of last year. And this year we've been able to really explode it. So we've gone from just 2 customers last year to now we have 200. And
wow.
all throughout California, that's most of our sales, but we also opened up Nevada, and we have a small batch available in Rhode Island as well for people. Woo! But it's mostly a California brand. We've made 2.5 million cans, made and sold 2.5 million cans in the last 18 months. And now we're a 30-person company, which is really crazy to me. It feels like just yesterday it was 7 of us trying to figure out how to, just open up our 3rd customer.
And I read Gwyneth Paltrow's an investor. How did that come about?
It's a crazy story. Gwyneth Paltrow actually was my babysitter when I was 2 years old.
Really?
Oh my God.
But that's not why she invested. She is, we have an investor called Imaginary, which they've backed a number of celebrity-driven brands in the traditional CPG and fashion space. And they told us a big part of this destigmatizing work we're doing is to find somebody who does not look like a stoner, does not sound like a stoner, who's forward-thinking about health and wellness, and figuring out how to get them involved as a part owner of the business. And so, they were friendly with the folks at Goop, and they linked us up for a pitch meeting, and we pitched her a year ago, and they actually passed. It was a little too early, but she was delighted to find out that I was that little kid that she used to babysit when she was 16 in that meeting. And then 6 months later, I was on the cusp of closing somebody who I thought was going to be who was a major actress who had won awards. And I told some of my investors, I am going to announce an A-list Oscar-winning actress as an investor in a couple of weeks. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but I'm going to announce it. That actress ended up pulling out at the last minute, and I had like 4 days before I told my investors. And so I called Gwyneth back and I said, hey, remember me? Some things have changed in the business. It's getting bigger. Here's some charts. And she told me, she goes, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I love the concept. I think what you're doing is great, but I just don't like sugar at all in carbonated beverages. And our drinks are low sugar, but they're not no sugar for the most part, except for one product line that we just had launched this summer called Cann Light, which is a 0 sugar version. And I told her, oh my God, we have a no sugar version right now. And she said, oh, done deal, I'll invest. And so it was a crazy journey to end up closing it. She was a believer in what we were doing from the very beginning, but just like I would advise any entrepreneur who's trying to work with talent, you have to ride on an organic desire for the product, like an affinity for it as a consumer. And so it wasn't until we had a product that actually connected with her based on her desire to have a 0 sugar carbonated beverage, that she came on board. And once she came on board, it was really easy to get a number of other people, because once she was brave enough to step forward and say, look, we're destigmatizing this, other folks followed quite quickly.
That's an amazing story.
That's great. So what's the future look like in terms of product rollout? Is it more flavors, or how do you kind of differentiate from what your product selection is right now?
It's like the Gwyneth story indicates, there are people who have niche needs that we always have to listen to in order to make this something that can work for everybody. Some people are on keto and they can't have agave nectar, and our more delicious flavors are sweetened with agave. So we've launched Cann Light, which is a zero sugar, keto friendly social drink. You can have 10 of them before you have the same calories as a White Claw. And you know, that's also a pretty fun night, having 10 cans. You know, we want to expand the no sugar line. We have the roadies, which, have you had the roadies yet?
I haven't.
No, what's the roadies? Like, are they smaller?
Ooh. They are little liquid packets. They look like ketchup packets, almost condiments.
Oh, wow.
You take the water out of a can so you can take it with you on the go and mix cocktails up with it.
Ooh.
So if you want to expand the roadies line, we have 24 flavors that we formulated that we haven't launched yet, and that we believe are really delicious. And so we're finding clever ways to partner up with retailers and create exclusive SKUs that you can only buy at those stores. And we're in talks with Sweet Flower right now, actually, to potentially bring an exclusive for them at some point next year. So it's about delicious flavors. It's about meeting unique and differentiated customers' needs, and just trying to keep pushing the rock up a hill.
And so just give me a sense of, like, when do you see Whole Foods carrying Cann? Like, how many years are we away from that?
It's a brilliant question, and I think about this every day. Like, you're talking about drinking a can while your kid builds a model train, and it's like a totally great experience. But if you look at the can, there's something different about it than a beer, and it's that black top on it. Like, It is child locked because it has cannabis, but beer is not child locked. Like, would you rather have your kid drink a microdose of THC or drink a beer? A beer is a lot more dangerous if you think about it.
Yeah.
And so the regulations are so backwards. The fact that I can drive around in a box truck with 4,000 cans on it, and if a cop pulls me over, I can say it's my personal stash and get away with it is nuts, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's because there are these arbitrary black and white rules about cannabis. What we believe is that there will be a split in the industry, and it'll take a couple years. After federal legalization, after more people understand what microdose products are, there will be, just like in alcohol where there's beer and wine licenses and there's liquor licenses, there will be expanded options for microdose products like ours that will make it so that they can be sold in places like Whole Foods. Cannabis was really screwed up and thought, like, prescription was THC and over-the-counter was CBD. I think everybody's kind of sick of CBD at this point. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think, CBD, it's hard to tell what's actually physiologically happening versus what's a placebo effect. And what I think should be over the counter is products like ours, microdose THC. But it's just going to take a lot of laws to change before that happens.
And even from a first step, like, so weed is technically legal in California, right?
Recreationally legal, only purchased at dispensaries.
So are we going to expand in California from not just being able to be bought at a dispensary, but the local gas station that only operates in California? That seems like the obvious next step, right?
It would be. I think everyone is waiting for federal legalization to happen before even local jurisdictions do more flexible things. A lot of times these conversations that could potentially open up our product to be available at a gas station get stopped in their tracks because people in the room just sit there and they go, wait, this is still a federally controlled substance. Like, we can't run off into the woods. We're going to get hurt. And so there's still a lot of fear and a lot of misunderstanding. And I think it will take federal legalization, expungement of records for the tons of people who have been wrongfully incarcerated, disproportionately people of color, of course, before we end up doing anything that expands within cannabis, even in a state.
Do you think we have a shot at that with the current administration and the way the House and Senate are broken down right now?
Totally. I think, as early as 2 years from now, we could see a major piece of legislation that allows for cross-border commerce. Like right now, I have to make every can in Nevada that I sell in Nevada. I can't even ship it over the state line from California. So it's very inefficient. It's holding the whole industry back from evolving. And it's a bipartisan issue. Even Republicans are pretty down with it. So I think as early as 5 years, you'll see some pretty crazy stuff and maybe even our product at a place like Whole Foods.
It's amazing.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing the story. Normally, I would ask for a discount code from the founder, but I don't think we can apply it anywhere yet. So in 5 years, you can come back and give us a discount code.
And I got to hit my numbers. So just buy it. Buy it at Sweet Flower. Buy it at shop.drinkcan.com. Dry January is coming up. If you take a 30-day break from alcohol, this is a perfect opportunity. Just buy it in December so I can hit my entry target.
And so you can purchase on your website?
Yeah, you can purchase directly from our website. You have to schedule a delivery. It'll show up a couple of days later. You have to have cash. You have to have an ID. If you want to buy it right away and you're in LA, Sweet Flower is a great place to go. You can get them to deliver it on demand even. But if you want to get a bulk discount, go to our website because we'll be able to sell it to you for a little bit cheaper per can if you buy a bunch.
So, sorry, I was going to interject before you went there. We actually do have a code.
Oh, we do have a code.
So we do have
All
a code.
right.
Sorry about that. So I talked to Danielle. I had worked with the Cann team. So we actually have group chat for 25% off and free shipping through the month of December.
Oh, wow. There we go.
Head over to shop.drinkcan.com. Use code group chat. 20% off and free shipping.
And
Two ends.
Two ends.
Right.
Two ends on the can, not
Yes.
not
on the drink.
Not on the drink.
Shop.drinkcan.com.
Okay. Wow. Thanks.
And follow us on Instagram too. At
Absolutely.
DrinkCann. It's funny. We keep it light.
Okay. Great. well, thank you for joining us, and good luck with the rest of the year. I want to say it's going to go great, but I could be dead wrong. It could be horrendous.
You never know.
All right, man. Good luck.
Thanks, Luke.
All right, real quick, we're going to take a break. I'm going to say this specifically. If you are not needing a fantastic and great last-minute holiday gift or something that can sanitize your keys, phone, and more at a higher percentage than 99.99% sanitation, then go ahead and skip, because we don't want to talk to you. We're looking to talk to the people that are looking for a great and amazing gift and something that sanitizes your items greater than 99.99%. And you're probably asking, Pete, what the heck are you talking about? Well, let me tell you about Pure Light. That's right. Every day when we leave the house, we grab our phone, keys, and wallet. Then throughout the day, we're constantly touching things, as well as these items, which covers them with dirty and dangerous germs. Now more than ever, we're taking more precaution with germs, washing our hands, and keeping sanitation at the highest regard. So when you get home, how can you sanitize your stuff without spraying chemicals on everything? Fear not. We've got you covered. Now there's a revolutionary product that quickly sanitizes all your items. The Pure Light Home UVC device utilizes the power of ultraviolet rays to safely sanitize your phone, keys, and wallet without the need of those harmful chemical wipes. Just drop your items into the Pure Light Home, and in just 30 seconds, they are 99.99% germ-free. That's right. You heard me correct. 99.99% germ-free. Look at this. All you got to do, I have one on my lap here for those of you watching. If not, if you're listening, I'm going to try to describe it the best I can. All you do is hit the load button. It goes through these little brushes as part of the cleaning process, drops into their container. You shut it. You hit the start button. Boom. In 30 seconds, it's sanitized. I threw my phone in there. Dee threw his keys and phone in there. We're sanitizing every single day using Pure Light. According to a recent study conducted by the University of New Hampshire, Pure Light Home specifically demonstrated that it could achieve, here's the biggest thing, they could achieve greater than 99.99% reduction or inactivation of COVID-19. Greater than 99.99%. You can't go wrong with this Pure Light sanitizer. Their UV light is amazing. There's no chemicals, and it's a quick process. For a limited time, Group Chat has secured the best deal ever from Pure Light. Head over to Pure Light, that's PURLITE.com/group chat, and use the promo code group chat at checkout. And guess what? You're going to get your second one for free. That's right. You buy one, you get one free. The buy one, get one deal. Tim, is this the best deal ever?
The best deal I've ever heard of
Best
in my
deal,
life.
Best deal Tim's ever heard of. Yes, you heard it right. Not only do you get one for yourself, but you also receive a second one for free for your friends and family. I've got one. Tim's got one. The office got one. D Drummond on it. All have one. We're all sanitizing our stuff at least once, twice, if not 3 times a day. You're constantly touching it no matter what you do. You're moving around. This gift is great for anybody. If you have older family members, if you have a lot of kids, bigger family, or just anybody in nature, just anybody in general could definitely use this Pure Light product. It's not huge. It's compact. It could sit right on your little countertop, drop things in 30 seconds. You're cleaned up. So head over to purelight.com/group chat and use that code to get a buy one, get one. Again, great gift for last minute shoppers. This is your time. Take advantage. Gift the whole home. Gift all your friends, your family. Everybody needs one of these, so don't miss out. This offer won't be around forever. And lastly, if you won prizes last night during the stream, we did shout them out. But I would love if you guys message us on Twitch and let me know. We have the usernames, but I don't want to have to worry about reaching out to you. So I'm going to listen back. We'll get the names. Please make sure you message us, and we're going to get everybody's gifts out next week. So thank you. You know, if we sell enough of these Pure Light sanitizers, maybe we'll start giving these out. Who knows? Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let's get you back in today's episode of Group Chat. Tim, tell them goodbye.
Bye.
Tell them have a good week.
Have a good week.
All right, thanks, guys. See you later.
Who's high?
I'm actually not. I'm just sucked down my first can. I'm on to my second.
You just feel relaxed.
Very relaxed.
Okay. Big fan of those guys. That's really cool, Cann.
Yeah.
Luke's a great guy. They're doing great things. I'm just so curious. Like, there's so much creativity and entrepreneurship going into this space.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's only up. I mean, how long till they federally legalize this thing?
That was our big question to him. Was like, he thinks
2 to 5 years.
That's not far.
No.
Let's just get it over with. What are we waiting on here?
There's so much stigma that society has put on cannabis, and a lot of it is race related, that it's going to take like almost that older generation to just not be in power, because they all grew up as cannabis bad.
Yeah.
Beer, good.
The problem is it's the voters. It's all those people angling towards who they think their voter base is.
Yeah.
And those people are scared of it.
I honestly, I speak to a lot of people about cannabis. I don't think anyone is scared of it anymore. Like, I don't think like, for example,
Mitch McConnell's scared of it.
Like, my mom's not smoking weed.
No, but she's not against someone smoking weed now.
But I think she might be scared of, I haven't talked to her, she might be scared of like it at 7-Eleven.
Wow. I don't think so. I
don't think they understand that standard.
What?
Like the weed shop is the new shop in it, but that feels weird, like you guys were saying. But then once it becomes available at 7-Eleven, I would think that would actually be the reverse, where it's like, oh, I can get this widely available, not just at this weirdly seeming illegal place that is a weed shop.
I just don't think, I think that they will think that way once it happens, but I think right now the thought of being able to get weed at 7-Eleven feels, look, to me, Anand's a good example. Anand drinks
plenty.
Not a care in the world. I've seen
big wine guy
tanked. But there's something about weed that's a little like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't want to, I heard him saying on the interview, like, I don't want to act crazy. I don't know. Like, and really you're more likely to do something stupid, crazy, harmful, whatever on alcohol.
Of course.
There's something about weed that you're just like, I don't know.
We've been brainwashed that it's bad.
Yeah, maybe I'm old, 37, 35 years of people telling me weed's bad.
I know.
Yeah,
I think
war on drugs.
That's damn it. It's crazy.
Just say no.
Just
It's crazy
saying
the
no.
damage that was able to do. Like it really worked when alcohol is so bad. And I'm not even on it. I feel actually the same way. Like I have smoked and drank and ate weed. But I do feel like having a glass of wine, it still feels different to me than drinking a can.
Yeah.
And that's just like I don't know, it's just a comfort thing because it's not.
It's interesting for me during the pandemic, it actually flipped where I have a little bit of guilt now when I drink alcohol because I'm like, what am I really seeking? Yeah, I'm looking for that little edge off.
Yeah.
And cannabis has been able to give that to me.
Yeah.
But
so much healthier.
yes.
You know, like you get the same result that you're looking for, but like so much healthier.
So much healthier. And like we all know, like alcohol is a tough, it has a tough impact on your body. And I think everything in moderation, in my opinion, is fine. Yeah. But like there are people that abuse alcohol. And I think it's very hard to abuse cannabis.
I also think from a legislation perspective, and this could be what holds it up, is Luke even referenced it. Whoever's proposing legislation federally is going to demand that if you have a conviction from marijuana-related charges, you're going to be released. That is not going to go over well in the law and order communities.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, you're letting these criminals out, even though they got busted for a dime bag.
Yep.
But in a 65-year-old person in Kentucky is going to be like, you're letting criminals in our streets.
Well, plus all the people that make money from prisons, you know?
Yeah.
It's not good business.
So I think it's that's the complicated part. I think nationally the polling is pretty clear that people are in favor of marijuana legalization, but it's a two-step process, and I would guess the second part, it doesn't have majority.
No. And I know it's not completely equivalent, but imagine what would happen if you took everyone's alcohol intake, like you did, Dee, over the quarantine. Take everyone's alcohol intake, swap it for cannabis intake. What would the health benefit be?
Yeah.
Like you would get rid of like all of these heart problems, liver problems, like they would be gone. It's crazy.
So that's the key. Just swap weed free.
I'll tell you, as someone like
it should be the opposite. We should look at alcohol as like, ooh, you're gonna do that tonight? All right, man, buckle up.
So that's happened to me over the pandemic where I'm like, okay, I want to make alcohol what it was 10 years ago, which was like, oh, it's Friday night. I don't want to drink it every single night.
Yep.
Like, so now I've been able to split it up over the week where it's more balanced and moderate.
And it's funny because it doesn't have the same just social kind of relevance because, for example, during the pandemic, us and AJ's family, we go to the roof every Friday, pizza and margaritas.
Yeah.
And it's like something we look forward to all week. It's like margaritas, Fridays, let's do it.
Half a dozen margaritas and cheese, greasy cheese in your face.
Switch that to pizza and blunts and you're making a step in the right direction.
Yeah, you're all of a sudden, you're a healthy guy.
But no one, they need to advertise it like that.
Yeah.
The way like Taco Tuesday, you eat tacos, you drink margaritas.
Weed Wednesdays.
Yeah.
There needs to be a push.
I agree. Okay. Well, let me tell you who's not the guy to do it. Jake Paul.
I think he's the guy. He is.
Jake Paul's the guy to push, I think, maybe white supremacy. Healthy living, I don't know.
I'm a big, huge Jake Paul fan.
Really?
Yes. A mega.
Let me just say, I hated the Paul brothers.
Yeah.
Hated them.
Yeah.
I met them. They're not bad guys.
I've spoken to them a few times on the phone as well, and I met them in person. Great guys.
Smart guys.
Smart as fuck.
Great guys. And the way that they speak to you takes the like, they're harmless. Right? They're not, come on. They're not monsters.
Yeah.
But I gotta say.
Until he calls you a bitch
That
on the internet.
Video. Today.
Yeah.
That video that Pete's referencing that he put out to Conor McGregor, I was like, all right, too far. You're a bad person.
So what happened in this video is Jake Paul pretty much called Conor McGregor, who is, if you don't know, a big fighter, called him a bitch, and he called his wife ugly,
A 4 to be
4.
exact.
A 4.
So you're probably jerking off because your wife's a 4.
Your wife's a 4. I missed that part. That's really
Jake
funny.
Paul said that.
Yeah.
Yes, he said you're
It's-
probably busy beating up old men in a bar, or maybe you're busy jerking off because your wife's a 4 and you don't want to have sex
And I
with her.
think he hopped out of an Aventador
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, Lamborghini, yeah.
A Lamborghini, and then I had a check for $50 million on the side and said, I verified funds. I got you the money. Why aren't you fighting? And here's why I don't have a problem with everything Jake Paul has done.
Okay. Everything or anything?
No, I'm saying on the video.
Okay.
In that video.
Okay.
Conor McGregor is the exact same person. He's not any different. If Jake Paul talked like that,
He called Dana White a fat bald bitch.
because he's in his
I
way.
said, you're probably not getting any pussy. I don't think there's a world where Conor McGregor calls Dana White a fat bald bitch on the internet.
So
Conor
I think
McGregor
he's
is pretty
using.
fucking
I think
reckless.
he's using the same playbook Floyd Mayweather did 10 years ago.
No, he's using Conor's playbook.
But do you
But
remember
those guys
how?
have a line. They have a line.
Do you know how disrespectful? But the line was different back then.
I know.
The line
I
back
get
then,
that
what
argument,
Floyd
but-
was doing to Oscar De La Hoya leading up to that fight, it was so shockingly disrespectful that it got everyone interested.
And
that
maybe-
line just moved 10 feet over.
Yeah. Maybe I'm getting old, but that's a line I don't want to see move. I just think, look,
I enjoyed the Dana
love-
White comment.
My favorite athlete in all of history is Floyd Mayweather.
Well,
I love the lead ups to the fights, the disrespect, all of it. But I just feel, and I love it about Conor too, but I just feel like there's a line that exists of like, I don't know. There's a line that exists. And that to me felt like, whoa, like you're doing too much. And that's just my opinion.
I think Jake knows what resonates with his fans. The kids that look up to Jake Paul, when he called Dana White a fat ball bitch, they're probably like, yeah, he is a fat ball bitch.
that's what I said. I was like, you know what, Conor, you're a bitch too. Why aren't you taking $50 million fighting the kid?
So think about 17-year-old D listening to Jake Paul. 40-year-old D's into
Loves
it.
Yeah.
I'm
He
telling
can't
you-
tell the difference between Dana White and Joe Rogan anyway.
I mean, in my mind, I actually pictured Joe Rogan and calling him a fat ball bitch. That's why I laughed, because they look the same to me.
I just want, like, I don't know, man. I want to me it felt, and it also felt like, it just felt like you're just going too crazy. It felt like, you know what it felt like? It felt like he's going to get beat up in real life for that.
So here's the thing. This is the society we live in. This is what gets Donald Trump elected president. This is what makes Kanye West a cult-like figure. These outrageous claims and statements is part of our culture today.
Yeah.
So you can't fault the kid for leaning. For him, it's a business decision. He's made a business decision that acting like this makes him more money. Right?
Yeah. I agree.
It's not like he's, we don't even hold our politicians to any moral compass. How are you going to hold? He literally said, he's like, what are you afraid of getting beat up by a YouTuber?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this is the same family that was in Japan doing like skits around dead people.
Yeah.
That had zero consequence. Why would this have any consequence?
No.
Yeah.
So that's why this is, at least he's going after a grown ass man. Fight him. I at this point, Conor McGregor has to fight him.
Yeah, he does. But I think someone beats him up in real life. I think Conor McGregor doesn't take the fight and somebody beats him up in real life. I just think this is just, whatever. It's one of those things that just bums me out about the way that things work, because the thing is, this is the best business move that Jake Paul can do.
Yeah.
And he will make a lot of money from acting this way. But we reward like it's just like, I remember the first year I went home for Christmas and my little cousins went from saying that their hero was Justin Bieber and blah, 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 to their heroes being the Paul brothers. And it's just the fact that when you think about, there are 13-year-olds that are like, you know what? You're a fat, bald bitch, Dad. Fight me, why don't you? And it's like, there are people that see this as the path to win.
Yeah.
I would guess the stuff coming out of 14-year-old
It's insane.
mouth
It is
compared to what,
insane.
I mean, I remember we feared adults. Like there was a level of respect. If the Paul brothers are calling Dana White a fat bald bitch, you're right. They're calling Uncle Joe, who gets sloppy at Thanksgiving, you bald
Fuck out,
bitch.
bitch. Wake up. Here's a check for $10. Fight me, bitch.
Yeah, you little fat ball bitch.
Come on. Stepping out of your Toyota Corolla with a cigar.
I mean, it's unbelievable content.
Oh my God. But it is just that one. Look, I'm a fan. I get it now. I get the fuckery. That felt too far. But we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Did you see the other video today? So
I thought that was today, the one I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That was yesterday.
Oh,
that was yesterday.
I'm late
There was
on the
one today
gram.
where he went by McGregor's trainer, Dylan Dennis.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
And he was like throwing water balloons and like cake at him. Like he was on the side of the road and there was paparazzi around him and he pulled up with a truck. He's like, "You little bitch." And started throwing shit at him. And
He
like
also
came
said that he
over.
hooked up with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He
Like,
also
let's-
said that on TV, and then he also unfollowed everyone.
He's just like throwing cake at him.
I mean,
This is what we like. We're a stupid culture.
No, we are a stupid culture, and the reason, while I would never, if I had a kid of age, allow them to watch this stuff.
Yeah.
We have 71 million people that voted for a guy that was shooting paper towels at refugees in Puerto Rico like they were basketball hoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But the same reason I think that's horrible, I think that's the one thing that I miss about like gatekeepers is like, if he was on Viacom, they don't approve that episode.
Right.
You just can't. But now there are no rules. And so there's kids that are going to go do that and think that that's the path to winning it. And yeah, I don't know. It's just.
I understand the moral dilemma. The problem is, at the end of the day, who is the kid that's going to get inspired by Jake and Logan Paul? Because maybe they're not getting that at home, right? So like, you, it's easy to blame the entertainer. I mean, that's what rap was getting blamed for that in the 90s. When we were growing up, rap music, you're going to go kill your parents if you listen to rap music.
Yeah.
Did that happen? No. Hundreds of millions, billions of people listen to rap music, and there's still a lot of parents
Like
around.
the lyrics of "Hit 'Em Up," the lyrics of "Hit 'Em Up" by Tupac is much worse than anything Jake Paul said.
Yeah, but look,
And that was like, and this is just baiting him to get in a ring and fight. Tupac was saying some not so nice things.
the problem for me though is like to be Tupac, you actually have to have a talent. Like there's a barrier to entry. To be Jake Paul, you don't.
Yeah.
So you go today with your GoPro, call your dad a fat bald bitch, and throw cake at your mom, and you're like uploading this shit.
I mean, if someone does that, I'm watching. I'm sorry.
They're doing it all across the country right now.
I
You
know.
just
That's
don't
a
know the
good
pages.
TikTok.
I know, but like the fat ball bitch challenge.
The FBB.
Yo, my dad's bald. We're gonna get that bitch.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's brutal, man. I don't know. I don't like to chime in and be like that person, but I don't know. It's the same way I feel about Trump. I think one of the saddest things about Trump is that it taught people that hate and whether it's white supremacy or white nationalism or those things were the way to win. There was a way of victory with that mindset. And I don't know. I just feel like I said, you can't go be the next Tupac or the next Migos. You're going to get stopped by just the world, but there's no barrier to entry to be the next Jake Paul.
And you get rewarded if you do it on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, in our childhood, every 12-year-old across suburban Western United States knew the words of "Hit 'Em Up" by heart.
I know, but we
And we
didn't
all
go and
screamed
shoot
it.
and killing people.
No, but we
That's my
screamed those
point
words.
is that if your kid at Christmas goes and calls your brother a fat ball bitch, if Dom comes to you one day and says, "Yo, what's up, you fat ball bitch?"
I'm smacking
You
him.
gotta smack him.
and but
no matter what age.
I'm blaming myself on that. I'm not blaming Jake Paul. That's because I allowed him to
But
be.
don't you think all kids at that age are impressionable? Like, look. Let me say
But
this.
I'm saying I listened to rap
But
when I
let
was
me say this.
9 years old.
Think about how hard it was when you were 9 years old and you were going through a 9-year-old that everything goes through.
Yeah.
Everyone goes through it. Let's say more like low teens, where you hate your parents, where everyone
Yeah.
goes through that phase. You have to go get a gun. You gotta get a fucking ounce of weed. You gotta figure out how to roll a blunt. Like to live the Tupac lifestyle for you was pretty hard.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Calling old Papa Murthy a fat bald bitch, you can do that tomorrow. And that's all I'm saying, man, is the barrier to entry is low.
So the barrier to entry to completely humiliate my parents is low.
You can start now. Everyone's got a camera. Everyone knows how to start a YouTube page.
I love the fat ball bitch challenge, by the way. I think it's a hit challenge. And
my
the song could be
God.
Hit 'Em Up.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a video of Jake Paul getting beat up in real life. And look, I still hold my opinion. I still, at the core, don't think he's a bad
Yeah.
guy, but I do think even he, like, I think, look, you're fresh off of a global knockout. You made a lot of money. That feeling of knocking out an NBA star has to be incredible. You were in the Baby's music video. I mean, come on. I think he's on cloud 9 right now, and you're going a little too far on your own Kool-Aid.
And if Logan fights Floyd and Jake fights Connor, there's no one else to fight. So they're just wrapping it up.
Yeah.
This whole box.
That's what I'm
Move on to
thinking.
something else.
That's
Go
what I
play
was thinking.
football.
Yeah.
Jake
Yeah.
Paul will be the quarterback of the Jets.
Yeah.
If Jake Paul quarterback the Jets, everyone would watch the fucking Jets game.
But that is what I was thinking. Is like slow down.
Yeah.
But like fight Floyd in 2023 after you worked your way through 7 YouTubers, an amateur guy.
Why? You shortcut. Everything's a shortcut now.
But what do you? Yeah, I guess you're gonna have to switch sports.
Yeah. I mean, go play basketball in 2 years.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Okay,
They will watch. They'll just start conquering sports one at a time.
we'll see. We will see.
Go boxing, then they'll go MMA, then they'll go
Well, guess where they're not going?
NFL.
Porn.
Well,
Because some big news. Pornhub just got rid of all of its unverified content. So one of the things about Pornhub, apparently, so I've heard, I'm not a frequent visitor, is anyone can upload porn on there. And there's like revenge porn, I think, problems that exist. Anyone can be a little up and coming porn star. Seems
You
like
can
that-
also just rip videos, I'm assuming, and just build up a following of stolen content.
Got
it's
it.
essentially what
So
people.
there's like a fat Jewish,
Of porn.
Yeah. This is stealing other people's D's.
oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, well, you made it your own brand, but you stole it.
Yeah, it's all, they just put like a watermark on it and brand it themselves.
Why don't you? Yeah, so I mean, big news. To be honest with you, I think, I think Adam 22 was uploading. I don't know how the verification process works, but one of the things he's known for is uploading videos of him having sex with his girlfriend and their friends.
Really?
Yes.
He's a full-fledged porn star.
Absolutely. Adam 22 is all
Yeah.
over Pornhub, and that's one of the, he's been doing that forever, and that's
That-
like part of his thing.
Sting.
That's the guy who had the interview with the girls who claimed they slept with
Yeah.
Devin Booker.
Yeah. But, I think there's a lot of people in this new age of like, I got an IG that's popping, I got an OnlyFans, and every now and then I get a Pornhub video cracking to build the audience that are affected.
Yeah, so they made a number of changes that I think is actually important. That they actually called out other platforms. So this is what in their statement. This means every piece of Pornhub content is from verified uploaders, a requirement that platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, and Twitter have yet to institute. I think this is actually a huge indication of where we actually should be going from a content standpoint, because that solves your fake news problem if you know who fucking uploaded it, right?
Yep.
And you have to be held accountable for the content you post.
Porn's always been first.
Porn started, as far as I'm concerned, there would be no internet if there was no porn.
No.
People wanted to go on the internet to look for porn.
Yeah.
And
Or seduce young little boys in chat rooms.
Which is, porn
it's
adjacent.
still sex.
They're trying to get photos.
Yeah,
really.
porn adjacent.
Yeah.
Pedophilia is porn adjacent.
Yeah, it is.
But that's really ultimately...
Glad we could clear that one up.
That's terrible. That sounds like the
about
same
that
person
one.
that
Pornhub's
says
taking-
you listen to rap, you're going to kill your mom and dad. It's like, if you watch porn, you're going to be a pedophile in no time.
So Pornhub is basically trying to be the moral authority of a platform
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
porn.
I like it, man.
I think it's
like
a
it.
great move. And like,
What if OnlyFans changes the way that like celebrities monetize their fan base? And what if Pornhub changes the way verified news?
it's amazing.
Isn't it amazing that Pornhub is, in theory, doing what all these platforms should be doing, and Facebook's just like throws their hands up, like we're a platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't control the misinformation.
I support Pornhub.
What's funny is the people with the real morals are over at Pornhub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Solid people over there.
Solid people. I'll tell you what, marketing team or founder, whoever it is over there, they do an incredible job of
Yeah.
marketing.
Yeah.
They always have like these special little things or like releases on Pornhub.
Well, they had when the NBA locked down, they were like free premium porn for all the players.
I mean, there's a trend on.
I mean, it's great
yeah.
marketing.
Yeah, they do that
Stuff
really
like
well. And then there's a full trend on TikTok where a girl, you play the Pornhub opening song
Yeah.
and see how your boyfriend reacts.
What is it? What do you mean?
So
It's
you
like a
know if
little
they're
drum
watching
and bass.
Pornhub.
There's like a little drum intro that plays on videos.
Like a Netflix. Dun, dun.
Yeah. It's their theme little music piece.
Yeah.
It
you
plays
play
it
it
all
around your
beginning of their
boyfriend while you're
videos.
filming him, and you see if his eyes light up. But that's how like culturally.
That's a good idea. It's not as good as the Fat Ball Bitch Challenge, but it's
Number
a good
2.
one. Yeah.
Gotta have at least a second idea.
Okay, well look, leading the way. Porn. Shout out to porn. We're gonna look. I think when it's all said and done, we're gonna owe a lot to porn.
You
A
absolutely.
lot more than they currently get. They don't get the
Yes.
respect they deserve.
You know, if anything, why not just start a porn site yourself right now and bypass all of this and just go right to verified and be the premium?
What?
So they just got around to making these decisions. Why don't you just somebody start a new porn site, match their quality right now, and just ramp it up even further?
Well, because by the time you do that, they have a new thing.
I think you could beat them to it.
I
Took
think
them long.
I think you're misunderstanding how long it takes to launch a full porn site with verification.
No.
Okay. Next up. Also in the land of content, a little less pornographic, is we've got some new competition. And I think we should let it be known. I think we should let it be known that, similar to Hit 'Em Up, fuck you and your whole crew or whatever.
Yeah.
Meghan Markle, Prince Harry. I'm just kidding, by the way. I did not mean that.
Yeah.
I know you guys are LA locals now. If there's anything we can do, I'm sorry. They have a new podcast coming
Yes.
on Guess Who?
The world
Spotify.
famous.
The world famous move maker, Spotify.
Spotify's going. So it made sense, the Rogan and Simmons, because those guys are like podcast, they've been there since the beginning.
Yep.
Now they're just going after the most famous people because they have Michelle Obama.
Yep.
They have now Meghan and Harry.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it translates into good content.
Not always. I think it'll be just like anything, right? They're gonna take a million shots. They're gonna have some stars. Michelle's pod's gonna suck. Meghan Markle's a star. Prince Harry's a little dry,
Yeah.
And then, but if you can play that game of just blanketing cash,
Yeah.
they're gonna rise to the top. And regardless, longer term, you'd have to think you're gonna end up on top because it turns out Meghan Markle's a podcast star, and you have her exclusively while Apple sat back and, fucking.
Yeah, no, it's a
made
good
their phone
strategy.
square.
Well, I mean, they have the balance sheet to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And they're making audio, non-music audio, such a priority
Yeah.
that, it's smart.
And I think the interesting thing is like off the heels of like The Crown being such a massively popular show.
Yeah. Royalty's hot.
Yeah, royalty's always hot, and like we've never heard from a royal family person in the form of like this format,
Yep.
right? Like I'm sure there's been a million overproduced documentaries about the royal family blessed, and I'm sure there's been a lot of rogue ones. But this is going to be ultimately these are like mythical creatures for most of the world, and if you get to just hear what Prince Harry and Meghan Markle did on a Friday night,
I want to know what they think about Jake Paul.
I would love to hear what
That's
they
the type
think.
of content I want.
I'm sure Prince Harry would love to call a couple of his relatives fatball bitches.
I'm sure there's a handful of fatball bitches in that castle. All right, well, we'll see.
Like maybe his brother.
Yeah.
It's not fat.
No.
Well, you don't know what quarantine's done to him.
True.
Okay, well, good for them. Either way, I feel like it's going to be good. Look, I think I couldn't be a bigger fan of like when you have this 2-hour long format, you can't hide behind, like you said, like your curated story.
Yeah.
So, we get to see what they're really all about and how they talk, and that's great.
Okay.
Everyone should have a podcast. Next up, another big win in the COVID world in a move that I wish could have happened in July. It looks like there's a green light in the US for an over-the-counter home COVID test.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think this alone is a game changer, like just second to vaccine.
Oh yeah, because I think we know there will be a humongous part of the population that refuse to get the vaccine.
Yeah.
Then we know that it's going to take, looks like 6 months to even get everyone who wants to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
This solves the problem tomorrow.
That's what, I don't know. This is not my space, but how did it take just as long to make a vaccine?
I know why. My guess on this, there was so much money being made in testing. Like they're selling this test at home for $30, and they're going to sell tens of millions. They were charging $150 to $250 a test.
But the money
6
there
months
is
ago.
way bigger.
I bet you government testing, you probably got a government contract for 10 million tests.
No,
it's easier money. There's a lot more work to ship 100,000 fucking tests.
Yeah, and I also think the society already has corona fatigue. I don't think they're going to be doing this.
What?
Like, I don't think the average person
At-home testing.
is going to take an at-home test before they go out in society. Yeah, it's going to be the same people who are quarantining properly and not the rest of the
that's
population.
still
Don't you
millions
think
of
like all
people.
these businesses and stuff, like don't you think like H-Wood Group
Yeah.
would have at-home tests to get entry?
They
like it
should
would
have
allow-
that door, right? At
Yeah,
the
that's
door.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is equivalent of that. It's a rapid test at your house.
Like imagine all these littler events. Obviously, you couldn't do like a stadium, but like imagine these smaller events. Even if you're a smaller artist and you wanted or a comedy club and you wanted to say 200 people, you get this rapid test, and you have your normal nights. You could save you could have saved part of the economy. You could have like done so much.
I love it. I think it's big. I think it's going to be a game changer and I think it's going to be a game changer for things in the future. Like this at-home testing idea, that's the environment we're going to live in now.
Yeah.
I do think it's a little. It's interesting to me that companies are willing to spend this much money because they just assume COVID's going to be here for years. But if the vaccine by end of next year is fully distributed, and with as many people who have gotten coronavirus, that's by end of next year between vaccine and people exposed, that's herd immunity.
I know,
So
but
what do
you're-
these businesses do after that?
No, they make it's a
Open the
fortune and they move
floodgates.
on. They're expecting to sell 100,000 tests a day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of money at
It's
$30
just a
a
bummer
pop.
that couldn't have happened earlier. It just seems crazy to me. I get your money thing, and you're probably right, but it seems crazy to me that you couldn't. It took just as long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're shipping the vaccine before you're shipping the test.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, you wonder who might need a shitload of these tests?
Yep.
Google.
Yep.
Because, it seems like the tone, even though we know this might not be what really happens, the tone in like these massive corporations has been kind of like, work from home inevitably. No plan of back to the office, just this is great. Everyone stay home.
Yep.
Google is saying, hell nah.
Yeah.
They're back in September. So you got till September, work from home, do your thing, get on the Zoom, whatever. Google Hangout, sorry. Come September, we're back.
So they want to try, they're thinking about like a flexible work week where you're in the office a handful of days in and out. I mean, look, I don't think work from home works for everybody. I think work from home works for certain positions. And at the end of the day, as an employer, the reason why you want people in the office, because you want to make sure they're fucking doing work. And Google is a perfect example where they have 200,000 employees. 190,000 of those people aren't generating them any money. So they, of all companies, can be very flexible when it comes to work from home. Because the product that Sergey and Larry made fucking 15 years ago, still 20 years ago, is the one making them all their money. So they can be a little more flexible. If they're taking the approach that like, no, we're going to have people back in the office, they must see something that's not happening in their business during the pandemic that they weren't able to accomplish earlier.
Yeah, so they are saying 3 days work in the office, 2 days work from home. So if you work at Google and whatever office is your stationed office, you have to be within commuting distance to be there for those 3 days. And Google is a company that was always work from home. Anyone who's worked at Google, you set your own schedule, you show up when you want. As long as your assignments are getting done, they don't care how you do it, where you do it,
It's
when
called
you
work
do
from home or don't.
it. Yes. So, and obviously technology companies can track things being finished very easily.
Yep.
Did the product get made or not?
Yeah.
Like, it's very clear. Are you testing it? Show me the proof of you testing it. Like, you can, there's so many checks and balances for a company like Google that, I mean, they probably theoretically could just do work from home more. I just think they're at such a scale of employees that they're like, we're not even going to chance it. We've already spent billions and billions of dollars on this real estate, giving you goddamn snacks and your laundry and your
Great food.
and your pet grooming and
Kombucha.
Yeah.
whatever.
You get in this damn office. I feel like you're gonna see a little bit of that too. You're gonna see this like, nah, we're back to work thing.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I don't know. It just feels to me like the work from home thing was like so celebrated early on, but you're gonna see this like just desire to like get back to work.
Yeah, and I also think people, we clearly now know, you know, you could say work from home all you want, but everyone is complaining about mental health issues, being isolated. Work from home compounds that.
Oh yeah.
So everyone's gonna say, I need to be in an office because I can't sit in my home all day and fucking drive myself nuts.
But the thing I'm really curious about, and this is what I think is going to take longer, is the structured workday.
Yeah.
Like telling people in 6 months you have to show up at 9 when they haven't showed up for 15 months.
And get dressed and shower and look presentable.
Yeah. How are you going to, I think that's going to take time for it to ramp back up.
That's even like, even on my side, like my biggest weakness, as you guys know, is getting up early. And I was crushing it pre-COVID.
Okay.
Where like you got to be up, I'd go to the gym. Like it was not even an issue.
Yeah.
Killing it. Waking up at 7:30, no problem. That is the one area. Like my food, everything's fine. Not getting fat, none of that. Not drinking a whole lot. But it tempts you can't wake up and go to the gym, but you can wake up and go straight to your first call with a t-shirt and a hat on, looking like anyone else.
Yeah.
And so like that's the one area where I think there's going to be a big shocker, especially for all the people like me out there, that like not only do you have to be at that first meeting at 9 a.m., but you have to shower, eat, commute, get ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I just physically can't nap.
Yeah.
I wish I could. But if you learn to nap during the quarantine, you're going to need your nap.
I wish I napped.
know, you're gonna be
during
able to
the
nap
week. I'm a
schedule.
great napper.
I'm a great napper.
I wish I could nap. I would have napped all of quarantine.
Saturday, 1:30, 3:30, every week. Full nap.
Because I would suspect there's a significant number of people that wake up and at 8 a.m. get to their 8:30 Zoom, boom, they're knocked out by 10:30.
Yeah. Try again at 2.
Nah, today's not my day.
I mean, there is so many more doing that than admit. There's so many more people rolling out of bed to that first meeting and catching naps, and there's so much of that happening.
Yeah. It's going to be a shock if all these big companies go, you know what? Fuck your flexible work week. You're 5 days a week. You don't want to work here. There's 30 million people unemployed. See you later.
I honestly think the non-e-com companies are just going to mandate 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Like they're like there's
Or a
already
siesta. You're gonna need a siesta.
like I don't think a law firm is going to allow work from home once offices are safe.
Hell no.
Because they're all on how many hours you bill.
Yeah.
And if you're napping from 10 to 2.
Well, the client's getting scammed. I mean, that's really the problem.
Yeah.
I would like if they just discounted the hours of the nap. 12 to 1. Instead of my normal $4.95, it'll be $85.
It'll be 85 because I was dreaming about it.
I was dreaming about your
About
case
the
saying,
case,
it's not looking good.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
Let's call it a nightmare.
It's actually a nightmare. Dreams are 150, nightmares are 85.
Totally. Okay, well, we'll see. But I have a feeling we're going to see a change of tone there next year. And then did you guys see this? Freaking Amazon showed their self-driving little robo-taxi.
Yeah.
This thing looks fun. You want to talk about what I'm looking forward to in the future? It's like, I got to head out to group chat. I'm going to bring my laptop, feed up in my robo-taxi, and just work, be on the phone, do whatever. These things look great. No driver, no one talking your ear off. It doesn't smell like, well, actually it probably will.
Yeah.
Who's going to clean these? Are you just going to get the last person's barf on a
don't worry.
Saturday
I think
night?
it'll be automatically cleaned. As soon as you walk out, boom, things
I have
pop
a
in.
self-cleaning oven. I don't know what that means.
I feel like Saturday night, you're going to hop in to get a ride home at 2 a.m. from the club, and it's
Throw
going to
up.
be puke, blunt, vodka. It's going to look like that Tupac video.
But
guys
you
were
probably
talking
have to
about.
sign in and they'll know exactly who did that and find them.
Find them.
I
Okay.
mean, it's probably gonna have cameras all over it as well.
It does have.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
has
yeah.
a
Okay.
shit.
And they're
Well,
going to
sorry, I
track
already
your,
went there, but
and
my
they
point
track
is-
your identity. You're not going to be able. You have to have a Prime account.
Prime account.
Yeah.
And then boom, Jeff sends
$500.
snipers after you.
Imagine if you throw up in a robo-taxi, your Prime account's automatically canceled.
I would never throw up then.
Or you get charged
You would have
a
a problem.
grand.
Yeah, I'd run out. I would just run out. Let me out, Robo.
Yeah. I remember I used to never puke from drinking ever till like age 25, except when in a car. It's just the moment I got in a car, man, I was out the window. But yeah, look, all that aside, the idea of being like, imagine if you had 5 meetings around the city today and you were taking this robo-taxi with no driver or no one distract, whatever, and you could just do your thing. That'd be incredible.
75 miles per hour it can go.
Seems safe.
16 hours on a single charge.
Not bad.
And they bought a startup. Amazon bought a startup called Zoox 6 years ago. And, you know, everyone thought their purpose for getting into self-driving was obviously for the purposes of delivery, because if they don't have to pay labor on their delivery drivers, that's it. It's a wrap for everybody else, right? Like everyone's toast.
Yep.
But I didn't think they would go in this commercial route where like it's now a robo-taxi is what they're testing.
Yeah.
They're testing in Las Vegas, San Francisco, and I forgot where else. And the idea, it'll be similar to any other ride-sharing experience. It's on demand and it comes and gets you. It's loaded with cameras. The technology on this thing is like insane. What's interesting is when you think about self-driving, I think a lot of people keep thinking like it's Tesla or bust. I mean, if you hear a real like passionate Tesla investor, they'll tell you that's their big opportunity is self-driving.
Yeah.
There are so many people working on self-driving. First, all the automakers are working on it. Amazon's working on it. We know Google's working on it. I think Uber just finally gave up and sold their portion.
I believe the Tesla argument, though, is that the amount of road hours they're already clocking ahead of the game.
What about the millions of packages being delivered?
Yeah,
Amazon,
but they're not, like, Tesla is actually actively working out the bugs because autopilot's in play.
Got it.
So all their cameras, all their setup is already mapping and working.
Yeah,
So-
it's basically their machines are going to be smarter because of all the data, right? Because
what about Amazon cars? What if they're tracking all that data too?
the
What's Amazon
Amazon
cars?
Delivery cars.
No, it's that
You're talking about the camera.
the Tesla is already equipped for self-driving.
Got it.
So that's already gathering all that data, is the argument. I have no idea what type of ground that has.
But my belief is that everyone thinks that Tesla is just going to win this category.
Yeah.
If I'm betting on execution, I'm betting on Amazon over Elon Musk all fucking day.
Well, don't tell that to the SpaceX team, though, who's smoking Blue Origin.
I mean,
That's
he
true.
got into the game late. SpaceX is like 17 years old.
I saw Jeff finally had to, take a
Jeff
knee
didn't have
and
no
yeah,
money.
he congratulated Elon.
congratulated Elon. Said you don't realize how tough that was when his
Yeah.
rocket blew up.
See, but Jeff
Execution.
can be a humble guy.
I haven't seen Jeff in space.
I haven't seen Elon either.
I haven't seen Jeff put a little convertible out into space just a showboat.
do you know who doesn't get enough credit for this whole movement towards self-driving is Travis from Uber. I think he lit a fire under everyone's ass when he was publicly talking about self-driving like 7-8 years ago. Before, I'm sure Google was talking about
I'm sure
it.
Tesla always had it.
But I think it made everyone go into just top gear. Like, okay, Uber comes out with self-driving cars before us because Uber was spending billions and billions and billions of dollars towards self-driving. And they had like the best PhDs from Carnegie Mellon. They just poached an entire department and said, you guys got to work on this in Pittsburgh. And I think it made everyone work harder. And then Uber gets screwed because they coup Travis and fire him. And then Dara shuts down all the spend.
because you know why?
Wait, how
Dara
did they shut
probably
down?
saw this robo-taxi and like, we ain't going to be able to build that.
But I think Travis would have been able
If
to.
Amazon figures that out, Uber's done.
yes,
If Apple figured Tesla, they're over.
they're all done. That's why the ride-sharing thing is... This is why Amazon knows if they figure this out, if they just say, we're just going to use it for ourselves and our packages, it's a wrap for a lot of people, for other businesses.
How can Dara shut that down? Isn't
I
that
don't-
your only future?
I don't think they have the money to go to this.
No,
look at this
it's
battle.
because Dara is incentivized differently than Jeff, Elon, and even Google, even though they're not founders, but Larry and Sergey still call all the shots.
And what's your other
Dara's-
plan? You have to sell to someone who has a
No,
figure.
Dara's basically being
Make
incentivized.
profitability.
Yeah, stop burning cash. We need the stock to go up.
That seems like the long-term worst play you can make.
Correct. That's retail 25 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well, congrats to Jeff.
Yeah,
This thing looks great.
it's great.
I'd prefer Tesla, but hey, if Zoox gets there first, I'm a loyal fan.
Yeah, I agree. If Tesla car shows up, I think you're gonna 9 out of 10 people would rather get it instead of a Tesla car than a Zoox.
But don't you think that ultimately there's probably multiple?
Yeah.
This
is not, none of these categories are winner take all.
Yeah.
Anything we learn now, Amazon is not winner take all in e-commerce.
Don't you also think you'll have like the Mercedes
Yeah.
Like I'm a Mercedes driverless like subscriber, and you're like a Honda. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
don't you think that?
And there'll be
I agree.
tiers for. I mean, we're an ego-driven culture. Would you rather jump in the Range Rover Zooks or
What
the?
if there's a Lamborghini one that can get you there 5 minutes quicker?
I'm taking that.
Max speed 75?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
What's
This
what
thing's
do you
doing
think the
120 down
speed
La
range?
Cienega. I got the new Aventador Zooks.
No, I agree. I think it'll definitely be that. That's why I think there's going to be a lot of players in the space, and I think self-driving is going to. I mean, it's going to revolutionize just the world.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Because I honestly think we'll look back at the fact that we let human beings drive cars, especially like at 16, and wasted and 90-year-olds, and we'll be like, whoa.
It's like drinking alcohol. That's it's smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, it's
You'll be
really like
what are you doing?
arming everyone with a missile. And being like, I don't know, just whatever.
Yeah.
Like when
16,
you have like go to like a friend's place and there's like a 16-year-old running around, they are so goddamn young. Why are they driving?
Yes.
Yeah.
Full speed on a highway. Or like that 9-year-old that you can't even like see straight
They
anymore.
can't even see over the steering wheel.
I'll tell you what, man. I have way more times am I driving and look and it's an elderly person that's causing all the problems than it's a young person.
Yes.
I feel like
It's
such
always-
an asshole. I'm like, you fucking asshole. Oh, it's just a
I
little
know. I'm
old
just
lady.
saying, like, what's the process? Aren't we checking in? You got to renew that puppy?
I mean, I
think
renewed
so.
my
How did
license. I
old
just
Bethel? No one's checked in on her. She just still has her old license.
driving around her Oldsmobile all over
She
town.
can barely like get around her living room, but we're like, fuck it, take the Oldsmobile down the 101. What? Anyway, listen, if we could all smoke weed instead of drink alcohol and drive around in driverless cars, we might live forever.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, let's wrap it up with Seen on Social. What have you guys seen the last week that everyone needs to know about other than Jake Paul and Fat Bald Bitches?
I mean, on social media, that to me, what I saw today was just phenomenal content. This is why the platforms were created. It was not to overthrow governments.
This is what Zuckerberg had in mind back at Harvard.
Help, the single mom build a business. No, it was to make us laugh.
The
entertain
FBB
us.
challenge.
I wonder if Mark knew back at Harvard in the dorm room
Yeah,
that this is what it would all lead to.
Jake Paul calling someone
White.
a fat ball bitch.
Yeah.
He likes this a little too much.
It's
the
too good.
He
FBB.
loves it.
Yeah.
I mean, you just wait.
Because you know what I love to see is just complete fuckery.
Yes. The internet's your place.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is just Jake Paul, even though he's like this kind of crass, not likable figure, he's the most disruptive person in media right now.
Yeah. And the fact that he knocked Nate Robinson out that's the best and worst thing that could happen to him.
Yeah.
To Jake.
Yeah.
Because he knocked him out in such a way that was like, okay, of course you're on cloud 9.
Yeah.
Okay. What was it? Was that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Anand?
Giannis, the Greek freak,
Yes.
from playing for Pete's hometown, just signed a 5-year, $228 million Supermax contract. He's 26 years old. This guy was a shopkeeper 10 years ago in Greece, and now he just signed a 220.
Pete, you're from Greece?
No, from Wisconsin.
The Greek freak. He plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. That's what I said.
Yeah, I was just telling a stupid joke. You know?
Anyways, this guy is 26 years old. I think he's probably already made 300, or with this contract, well in the 300s. He's 26. He'll be 31 when this is over. He'll probably re-up for another 350, 400. So he's going to clear $700 million in NBA earnings separate from any endorsements. And this guy literally couldn't even afford food 10 years ago.
He's just a great guy, right?
Yeah, he's the best.
He just has stories about like his brothers and him would split food because they couldn't all afford to eat.
Exactly.
First like 2 years he's in the NBA with Milwaukee, he was sending all of his money back home, so much so he couldn't get a taxi to the game, so he ran.
Yeah, didn't we tell the story, or someone told the story about like he was underweight, he was malnourished for the NBA because he was
so skinny,
Yeah,
because
when he was 16, he had blood work done when they realized he was like the superstar in the making, and he said his blood work was equivalent to like a 75-year-old because he wasn't eating.
Good for him, man.
Yeah.
This is, you have Jake Paul, you have the Greek freak.
They're probably the same age.
2 different ways to get to the same page.
How old's Jake? He's
24?
He's 26, the Greek freak.
I'm just saying, I would like to, more of that.
Yeah.
You know? You want to know what Jake and Logan never did? Share food. Never once.
I actually have one quick ass scene on social was Mackenzie Scott, formerly Mackenzie Bezos,
Yep.
has she had a post she shared today about her philanthropic effort. She's given away $6 billion this year
I want more.
to 385 charities.
Not enough.
She says she's going to give it all away. She's
I'm not mad at her, but
it's think about how hard it is to even give that much money. So there was an organization in Tampa, Meals on Wheels of Tampa. They didn't even apply for a grant, but her team reached out, did their homework, and gave them money. They're being aggressive about and she has her list of things. Really, like the economic kind of collapse of the last 9 months has been her focus on helping, I'm sure, food, clothing, shelter. But it's amazing. $6 billion.
I'm going to give a controversial thought. I wish Mackenzie would consult with Jake Paul on how to spend $10 billion to, and here's why.
Okay.
I feel like you always hear these stories of like billions being given away. And like, I'm sure it is. And I'm sure it's actually making a really big impact, but you never see it.
Yeah.
And I just want some of that marketing brain. Like, if
You want to
spend
see that poor kid eating.
I'm just saying.
The
you could
Melinda
spend
Gates-
yes, I want to see that. I want to see that video. I want to see the family whose salary you paid because they lost all their. I want to see it.
Bill and Melinda
$6
Gates do
billion?
a good job
Yeah.
of outlining very clearly what results they've gotten.
Yeah, but I need footage.
He needs a
wanna see
15-second
kids.
video
I wanna
of
see-
some poor hungry kid getting fed.
I want to see those toilets being installed. I want to see the moment the people come out and say, "Holy shit, Bill, game changer." I want to see it.
That'll make you feel good.
Yeah, I mean, imagine we need more of that. Less fat bald bitches. If we had, look, this is follow me. Mackenzie's $6 billion, and this year I'm giving away $6 billion, and you get to follow it throughout the whole year.
No one's gonna watch it. I don't think anyone gives a fuck about other people helping people on video.
You just got to do it well. That's
Who
why I'm
would
saying.
watch on the internet?
That's why I'm saying Jake Paul would be able to help. I'm not saying let Jake Paul decide where it goes, but let Jake Paul direct the content.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be done in a provocative way because there are so many people posting such nice things. They are not popular on Instagram.
Yeah, we got to
They're
do
not
better.
popular on YouTube. What's popular is shock, fuckery.
Yeah, we need.
Maybe if you're gonna give away 10, take $1 billion for fuckery, and then we'll pay attention.
Yeah, you say, look, over the next year I'm giving away $6 billion. Intertwined in that will be $1 billion of fuckery.
Or just whatever people I give people like Jake Paul $50 million. Go do something fun.
Yeah, go punch Conor McGregor in the face.
Here, Connor. Mackenzie should sponsor that.
Yeah.
And then you do $200 million in pay-per-view and give it away. Thank you.
That's just what I want to see. Yep, great job. Thank you. Okay, mine is over on Clubhouse, a little bit of action. I didn't fully watch it yet, so that is my plan to watch it probably this weekend. But there was like a big like showdown with Meek Mill and 21 Savage and DJ Academics.
Where?
On Clubhouse. They were on there because like Meek Mill obviously like has pretty public like hatred for Academics and the fact that Academics like monetizes the hood without being from there, giving back to it, nothing. And 21 Savage was kind of playing like moderator, and they've never like talked, at least as far as I know, and they're talking live on Clubhouse, and it's Academics, and why did you support Tekashi 6ix9ine? And then him rebuttaling, and it's just like, look, I think once again, everyone loves the rap, like, you know, I'm gonna shoot you in the face, but like, here's 2020, why don't we just hash it out on Clubhouse?
Yeah.
And have 21 Savage be the
moderator.
moderator.
But
That's amazing. That's really amazing.
unfortunately, Clubhouse, if you don't listen to it live, it's gone unless someone recorded it and put it on
People
YouTube.
recorded
People
like a bunch
record
of
it.
snippets and stuff.
Got it.
Yeah, so those I want to properly go through. But yeah, I think the majority of it is gone. But yeah, I mean, hey, when tech meets beef,
Yeah.
you know?
I have one more scene on social.
Yep.
From Pete's business partner, Chamath.
Okay.
Yes, good friends.
Dear.
Chamath just tweeted he's thinking of creating a $1 billion income sharing agreement to disrupt student debt. That's like one of the ways we can solve a lot of like young people going to debt. Income sharing agreement. He's basically like, I will basically sponsor you Like you're basically investing in a person and then you own a piece of their earnings.
Yep.
And I'm sure plenty of kids with no means, if you like, and it democratizes a lot of things. Because if you're just a poor kid but you're really smart, you have no access to money, you submit to Chamat's income sharing agreement process. Maybe you get sponsored.
Yeah.
Change your life.
Film it. All I'm saying is film it. I want to see the video. I want to see the kid get accepted.
Maybe this is where Pete comes in. Chamat's
business partner.
Pete, here's your
signed an NDA. So.
If I were you, I'd send a DM and I would say, hey, Chamath, pretty handy with the camera over here.
I mean a text.
Oh, text. Sorry.
I text.
How dare I?
Yeah.
And, let me start an Instagram page. Okay.
I'll talk to him.
All right.
I'll let you know.
Let me know how it goes. Sorry to interrupt. Okay, that's it. We got any shout outs?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Dee, do you?
No.
Okay. We'll start with Andrew. Andrew from Sydney, Australia. It's my attempt. That's,
You've been watching too much Jake Paul.
Yeah, right. Hey, guys and girls.
I want you to read the whole thing in his voice, please.
I feel like I'm going to go into a bit of a different, it's more of like a British
English.
accent.
Yeah, you just went British.
Just do it. Come
Australia.
On. Read the whole thing. Read the whole shout out.
Okay. I would like to ask for a shout out in support of his startup, Skin X, sports and skincare and body care business born out of professional sport. Skinx.com.au because
I feel like our shout outs are verging on ads.
Yes. People are taking big advantage of that. It might be bots that are starting to put these in.
Yep.
But would love to get a shout out. Many thanks to you guys in advance. So we will just accept if you would just accept our invoice later.
Please.
For that ad read.
Shout out to that invoice.
Then we have Jacob Ferguson from Salt Lake City, Utah. A couple days late, but I want to give a shout out to my older brother Jason and his girlfriend Brooke for their 5-year anniversary. Wow. Congratulations to you guys. They also recently bought a house together, and I admire and look up to both of them in many ways. Jason put me on the pod over 2 years ago, and I haven't missed an episode since.
Amazing.
Wow. Shout out to them.
Woo.
We get a lot of DMs from Utah. Are they just more confident that they can send the message, or we just have an unusual number of people that listen to us
Which is
in
big
Utah?
in
The Mormon community.
Yeah.
And that's all I've got for me.
I have a shout out.
Oh, okay.
Julie wants to give a shout out to Joseph Valdez, her amazing soulmate. He just graduated from Cal State USB. What's USB?
San Bernardino?
Maybe. With the BA in finance, early 3.5 years, and was summa cum laude. And he is starting graduate school now. Everyone's proud of him.
Nice.
Congrats.
Good work, Joe.
Go, Joe. big years for the Joes.
Yeah, big year for Joe.
Okay.
They say average Joe, but these Joes
Not
are
so
above.
average. Mm-hmm.
Above average.
Well said. Okay. I hope you guys liked our year-end wrap-up. Make sure you let us know your thoughts, if you agree with our choices or not. We've been getting a lot of backlash from entrepreneurs and big film directors and people that thought they should have won. But,
You know what you say to those people?
maybe next year.
Fuck them.
Oh,
Fat,
fuck them.
bald.
Yeah, we get a lot of messages from a lot of fat, bald bitches.
Do you guys know any bald people around here that we could start the trend on?
I don't think no one that I would like to call them
Call
that.
them that.
You need a
I could do it. I could wear like 4 masks that cover my entire face, and then they wouldn't know who it is.
Okay. Well, you get it started. Let us know how to do it.
I need a
I'll
bald. I
watch
need a
it.
bald guy.
Yeah, because at least Jake Paul's offering $50 million.
Yeah.
You are just offering a feature on the group chat story.
It's worth just as much.
Okay. All right. That's it. We are out of here. We'll see you at the end of the week.